Hi, everybody, and welcome to this response to the interview with Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson. We had over 1,000 comments to that video that I made, and what I want to do in this video is to address the major points that I saw in the majority of those comments. Certainly I'm not answering every comment, but there were some themes that ran through there, and I want to make sure that I get those addressed for clarity's sake. So, the first comment was, are we doing this video just because it's something that the actor Mel Gibson said, and we want to respond to that? No. Actually, two things. Number one, it is always important that we verify what somebody says. And so we did. We went back to authentic Catholic news agencies to hear the entire story, and that's where the elements came from. Second, it's important that we as Orthodox Christians speak out on matters that are very important and impact our Christian faith. We must hold everyone accountable. In fact, that includes us. So we must hold ourselves first accountable that we are speaking the truth and we are doing what is proper to Christian faith. And then also be able to have the courage to speak out on those things that are not proper to the Christian faith. So what's the big deal about the Pope being presented with the Pachamama from the indigenous people of the Amazon? Well, there is no problem with that. I mean, many times our bishops and archbishops receive gifts from different people. The problem is that in this specific case, in 2020, the Pope received this into the church, St. Peter's Basilica. It was placed in front of the altar and then carried in procession during the worship. So it was included as part of the Christian worship. This is something that you will never see in the Orthodox Church, because whatever is in our service historically is the only thing that can be part of those services. These are some examples of some gifts that I received at my time at General Motors and when I was consulting. In fact, I have a Japanese tama here. I have a dragon that was given to me when I was in Beijing. And then I have these statues here that I received when I was in Indonesia. And then also when I taught in Shanghai, I received this. But none of these are images that I worship. They were given to me as gifts, but they are representative of the indigenous cultures of those particular countries. They're not in the church, and certainly I wouldn't take any of these and either place them in front of or on the altar or use them in the conduct of any divine service that we have within the church. So when the question came up, well, don't we have Jewish history incorporated into our services? So things like the Psalms and the reading of Old Testament? Yes, but that's not something that each individual priest or bishop does. This has been established since church history. So this has been written into the rituals and the rubrics of our divine worship services. So the Holy Fathers have brought those in. St. John Chrysostom, St. Basil, so on. So in that case, we do bring that into our worship service because there is the Jewish historical connection to the evolution of Christianity. But certainly there would be a difference if I now brought the Torah scrolls into our worship service and then carried them in procession. This is something that the Holy Fathers did not bring into our liturgy service, and this is something that is unique to the Jewish faith and not to the Christian faith. And then that brings us to then another point is, well, can't we just say that the Pachamama is another representation of the Theotokos? No, we can't do this either, because we never call the Theotokos anything but the mother or the bearer of God. She doesn't have any other name. So we don't refer to her as Mother Nature or Mother Earth. She only has one distinct role. And so we cannot take her and now fit her into different roles or place her into different roles on top of other indigenous religions. So next is, How can the Orthodox Church be hypocritical about bringing idols in when the church is full of idols? Now, I think here what they're referring to is the icons that are used in the church. And although we have several videos that explain the process and the incorporation of icons, I just want to sum it up here very briefly. An idol is something that is worshipped. An icon is venerated. So an icon is a representation of what we call the prototype, whether it's of a saint, whether it's of Jesus Christ himself, or an event of the church. It has a historical nature to it. But other than Jesus Christ, we never worship what is in the icon or what is on the icon. Those are objects of veneration, meaning that we look to the prototype. And again, to be clear, we are not even venerating the piece of wood. We are venerating, as I said, the prototype that is being represented. So this is a remembrance for us of a particular saint and what they've done so that we can recall what they did and emulate them and to be like them. So now I want to respond to the comment about the divine spark and the element of truth in each religion. We must remember that back in Genesis, God said that everything that he created was good, and that includes those things in heaven and those things on earth. So in that sense, that image that was created is good. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to quote from Vladimir Lossky, one of our contemporary Orthodox theologians. In his book, Image and Likeness of God, in the chapter on theology of image, he says, man created in the image is the person capable of manifesting God to the extent to which his nature allows itself to be penetrated by deifying grace. Thus, the image can become similar or dissimilar to the extreme limits, that of union with God, which deified man shows himself by the grace of what is his nature, or then he turns that against what is good according to God. So in that sense, every one of us has the potential for good, but equally so, we have the potential to do bad. But that divine spark is not an essence of God in any way, but as Vladimir Lossky says, it is that nature, that image, that we can be deified through the grace of the Holy Spirit. I know that I haven't answered all of the comments. Okay. I wanted to touch on what I felt were the most pressing and the most important. But I want you all to remember that every Thursday night at 7 o'clock on our YouTube channel, we have Orthodoxy questions and answers. And this is a wonderful opportunity for you to ask live any questions that you may have concerning this video or other videos that we've done. We appreciate all of the support that you've given us in terms of our channel, and we look forward to seeing you not only on our Orthodoxy Live, but also in the continuing comments that you offer to us. But unfortunately, this Thursday, I'll be at an Archdiocese retreat, so we're not going to have the show this Thursday, but every other Thursday, we're going to be available and you can ask your questions. So thank you very much for your support and look forward to seeing you soon.